Were dead after an apparent shootout.
Oakland police still investigating a shooting.
Police confirmed the man had been shot, but I've learned investigators looking into the possibility he may have been shot.
Oakland holds significant importance in black culture, from various things including music, art, style, and abundance of other things, including the Black Panther Party, which was a movement that spread across the country, which started in West Oakland. West Oakland is one of the most historical significant neighborhoods in Northern California, which is shaped by its migration, industry, activism, disadvancement, and resilience. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, West Oakland grew as a working class district, which was tied to the railroad industry, especially Pullman porters, who were among the first large group of black workers to settle there. During World War II, the area transformed dramatically when thousands of black families migrated from the South to work in the Bay Area shipyards, along with defense industries at the Port of Oakland and nearby military facilities. This wave of great migration turned West Oakland into a thriving black culture and also an economic hub, with 7th Street becoming a center for jazz clubs, restaurants, and also black-owned businesses. However, after the war, systematic racism through redlining and housing discrimination confined many black families to West Oakland, while industry jobs began disappearing as well. Urban renewal projects in the 1950s and the 60s cut through neighborhoods, including freeway construction, and divided the community, and also displaced many residents. The Acorn projects in West Oakland, officially known as the Acorn housing projects, were built during the post-World War II era as a part of a nationwide push for public housing under the Federal Housing Act of 1937, which aimed to address overcrowding and poor living conditions in the black communities, which was shaped by redlining and racial segregation. Located in deep West Oakland near 8th and Center Streets, the Acorn complex opened in the early 1960s. The Acorn projects became one of the most recognizable public housing developments in Oakland. Over time, as the manufacturing jobs disappeared from the Port of Oakland and the Bay Area industrial economy declined, poverty concentrated heavily in neighborhoods like West Oakland. The Acorn projects became struggle-marked by high unemployment, over-policing, gang activity, and the crack epidemic of the 80s and 90s, which further strained the community. The Acorn projects had an overall crime score of an F, indicating high levels of reported violence and property crimes per capita, which was higher than the national averages. Reported incidents included numerous assaults, robberies, burglaries, thefts, and vehicle thefts, which was way higher than the national average. Data showed that violent crime rate in the Acorn area was about 11 incidents per 1,000 residents annually, placing it in the lowest safety percentiles compared with other U.S. neighborhoods. Property crime rates are also elevated, with figures around 31 property crimes per 1,000 residents in a typical year. West Oakland is known as a grimy area, which is full of crime, so much that the police cracked down on the Acorn projects various times, like the Operation Nutcracker in Oakland, which happened in 2008. That brought down 54 members of the gang, or associates of the Acorn projects. Now with that crackdown, the Acorn projects were changed, with the OGs and many prominent figures being locked up. This led to a younger generation having to take over and start their own regime. In the early 2000s, Oakland's dynamics began to change. Oakland has always been about blocks, not like most typical areas in California, where they rep Crips and Bloods. But the block repping later got added, with most blocks falling under certain umbrellas and cliques. Cliques like Stubby and Case began to take over, and Acorn would align with Case and align with blocks who later claim it. By 2023, Oakland gang landscape was dangerous. In 2023, Oakland had an elevated homicide rate compared with national averages. The city recorded about 126 total homicides in 2023. Using Oakland's approximate 2023 population, which was around 440,000, that translates to a homicide rate of roughly 28 homicides per 100,000 residents, which was one of the highest among major U.S. cities that year. By July 2023, Oakland already had 57 murders. In July 23rd of that year, a lot of bullets would be flying that day. 4 people were shot that day, including James Hall, also known as Sosa, or Sos. He was a well-known member from Acorn, and he had a lot of love and respect from that community. He grew up on a street called Filbert, within the Acorn projects, which they would later call the F, which they later named the block after him as well. You can see in various pictures of him with Acorn rappers like Yid, and pics with various other members from his block, and him also repping it. On that day of July 23rd, 2023, Sosa and several others congregated around a parking lot in the Acorn projects, when a dispute would occur, which led to Sosa winning the fight. The fight led to a pistol being pulled, and Sosa ended up dying. It was captured all on camera. Sosa's death was a major loss for the Acorn projects, and several hoods aligned with them. He was honored in songs by several people like Kai Benji, Duder, and Lingo, and also Lil BR.
The shit that I wrote, grabbing blickies, tearing up the city, think about souls. Them niggas know that was some fake shit, now they moving like hoes. They know some hats getting collected, we don't care about a vote. It's crazy how this shit had to change, this shit in vain. I go and find myself again before I be a lame. I get another bitch before I put up with some games. Know these niggas wanna cook me, so I gotta keep the flame. I'm a product of the trenches, they like dude go and live. Ain't a life without another me, like dude had some kids. Always be the loudest niggas talking, who ain't never slid. If I was right there when Sosa died, he probably would've lived.
I feel lost in my cell, ain't know what to do. Like when I come home, I'm standing overdue. Like fuck that, we grieving, nigga, y'all finna grieve too. That's why I love no face and ejecting me.
10-4 on the dice, on the sauce, it's a bet. I came through same day, we put big bro straight to rest. G22 got it cracking, knocking niggas on their necks.
He was also mentioned on several hood vlogs on channels like the Valley Club and several others.
Soul's block.
Yeah, man. Before that, bro, my nigga Sosa, bro. Feel me? He died right in this. He died right in this parking lot too, man. We lost so many real niggas though, so many good niggas for real. Like, long live my nigga Sosa, man. He died right in this parking lot. We'll be in this parking lot right now, lit as hella bottles, music playing loud as. We'll be out here like long live Sosa. You know we go forever. Keep it lit. Let me see.
Legendary. This parking lot right here, legendary.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, nigga trying to.
But even with all the honor and respect he was shown by his people, he was dissed by rivals.
Sent to heaven gate, fuck move, 300 black shells, ate his fucking face. Fat James tried to fight, got his ass baked. He got clapped by his man trying to play it safe. I'm high as fuck in a booth. I just poured an 8. If I got paid for every drill, I be up 100.
Even with allied hoods like Tear It Off from San Francisco, one of their members, D-Boy, would diss Sosa in an argument with BR over his snitch allegations.
Look, hold on, look, on Sosa.
Because he know you a rat.
Nothing to do with nothing.
Fuck Sosa. He know you a rat.
Damn, fuck Sosa. Y'all be letting this type of shit
Nah,
go
brother,
on?
don't say that though.
Oh, it's fuck Sosa.
That's all I be talking about.
None of that, nigga. I don't care about none of that. My mama don't care about it.
This made anybody associated with Sosa offended, and many people stated their opinion. But that was later retracted by one of the Tear It Off older members. In the streets, nobody plays fair. A simple fight can turn into you losing your life, and that was the unfortunate demise of Sosa. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, hype, comment, and subscribe.